Welcome to the Mesozoic Media Park. The goal for this park is to fill it with as many movie, show, and documentary dinosaurs as we possibly can. This time we will be focusing on the documentary series Walking with Dinosaurs, particularly the Triassic episode and the Ballad of Big Al. These will be awesome additions to the park. So, Walking with Dinosaurs, the documentary. Of course, this was one of the most requested ones. I am so excited to get into this one. I love this documentary so much. So of course it is a documentary that has multiple episodes. So what I'm thinking I'm doing, I'm going to do about 2 episodes per video. Like today I want to focus on New Blood, which is the Triassic episode, but I also want to do the special, which is Ballad of Big Al. So we're going to do both of those, and yeah, let's get right into it. So, if as far as the Triassic episode goes, there's only really one creature I can do, and that is of course the Coelophysis. So it's not going to be the most grand enclosure, which is also part of the reason why I want to do 2 of them per episode, because, you know, we're already running out of space. Like, we might have to make, like, 2 whole parks full of this. I messed that part up. And what I'm thinking of doing with the Triassic enclosure, the New Blood enclosure, is just kind of trying to recreate this scene right here, where there's a little bit of a creek going on, and, yeah, you got the Coelophysis all existing, I guess. I really wish there was something like Post-Suchus, or at least some type of Pseudotsuchian in this game. I think that would be so cool, but unfortunately it's not in here. Okay, I don't want to take up too much space, so that's what we're doing right now. Again, we're running out of space pretty quick. I need to be a little bit more cautious with the space I take up, because as you know, the mission statement goes as follows. The goal is to fill this with as many movie, show, and dinosaur or documentary dinosaurs as we can. So in this episode, the environment is a lot more deserty, so much like the Mysterious Beyond and all that. We're going to just be filling it with rocks and dirt to kind of give it that feel. Okay, and then next order of business is to place a little bit of a creek going through here. Really make it reduced. Like, really kind of make it not too significant. Raise up the terrain a little bit. Kind of make it look like this water formation kind of cuts into everything. You know, I'd never really realized this before, but there is a serious lack of Triassic creatures in this game. That is really unfortunate. Off the top of my head, we have I think we have Lystrosaurus, of course. Lystrosaurus did survive into the Triassic. We have Coelophysis, and is Nothosaurus a Triassic creature? I think it is. Yes, Nothosaurus is a Triassic creature. That is not a lot. Like, all things considered, that is not a lot of Triassic creatures. Very, very unrepresented. Let's see. Hopefully, in Jurassic World Evolution 3, we can get a few more. I would love to have Plateosaurus or something. I would love to put Plateosaurus into this. I'd like to recreate that ending scene where the Plateosaurs are all showing up. I think that would be so cool to kind of just rebuild, or you know, to the best of my abilities anyway. But we don't even have any early sauropodomorphs at all in this game. Insane, insane. Of course, you can't really represent every single dinosaur, but I don't know. There are certainly a lot of stegosaurs in this game. I'll tell you that for free. Okay, on top of all this, there's also a little bit of vegetation. So I'll just kind of like place some bushes and things like that here and there. So something like this is probably the closest to what I have envisioned in my... Oh no, it's got a pot. Dadgummit. Okay, well, I don't know then. That's too big. Okay, something like this maybe. A little bit. I don't want too much, of course, but it kind of looks like from the images I'm looking at, they're like you just have some small amounts of vegetation that are all kind of just everywhere. I don't really want to. I don't want like too much scattered. It kind of looks bad. I don't know if I like that. Let me just place like a shrub every once in a while, especially near the water, because that kind of makes sense. And bloop. Nice. Okay. And now that is our very sparse little Coelophysis enclosure. So now let's go and get our little Coelophysis. Now, while that's happening, I want to place the Ballad of Big Al part. Now, I can't remember if I mentioned this. If I did, I'll just cut this part out. But the part part or the portion of the movie that I really wanted to incorporate that has been requested is the scene where they're on the salt flats with the Diplodocus and all of the Allosaurs. I think that would look so flippin' sick. So that is exactly what we're going to do. We'll just use sand to represent the salt, and then we'll place Big Al himself in here, or herself. I'll talk about that a little bit later. As well as the Diplodocus herd and the rest of the Allosaurs. Actually, I'm going to keep these two separated a little bit. That way there's not too much of a clash, because very different types of terrain is going into here. Yeah, I kind of did this really ugly. I'm going to try it again. You know what I really wish? I wish that the electric fences were truly electric. Like, I wish you couldn't see this metal part at the bottom. Did I just say electric? I meant invisible. Take me for what I mean, not what I say. No, I really wish that the invisible fences were truly invisible in this game. Like, that's probably one of my biggest complaints. Like, I'm glad that they added this, you know, I'm glad that this is still present. I just wish that you were able to not see them a little bit more. No. And now, we place all of the salt. Okay, I also added this mountain because you can, in some shots, you can see like mountains in the background. I thought it would look kind of cool, kind of differentiate it a little bit. Anyway, those are the salt flats, so let's get this rolling. And that is everybody. So first we have all of our coelophyses. They're all kind of just hanging out in here. I gave them way too big of an enclosure. I probably could have dialed it back a little bit. But of course, just gave them that kind of green color with some lighter greens. And yeah, no, honestly, they look really good. These guys match up very well to the Walking with Dinosaurs version. And then from there, we have our Allosaurs and Diplodocus. Now, first, I forgot to name you. First, we have the main character of Ballad of Big Al himself, or herself, Big Al. So, the reason why I'm saying Al could have been a female is because apparently there is some medullary bone tissue present with the specimen of Big Al. Now, if that is the case, what medullary bone tissue is a reservoir that helps store that stores extra calcium for hard eggshell development, which means that Big Al would have been either getting ready to lay eggs or had already laid them by the time that she had unfortunately died, which would be really tragic if that is the case. But anyway, in terms of the design, I really wanted the red crests. I think that's one of the most important parts of the Walking with Dinosaurs design. So in order to get that, I needed to also have these blue spots on here, which I think is kind of unfortunate, but I still think it looks pretty good. I also gave Big Al here the different model, whereas these guys are from Battle at Big Rock and Camp Cretaceous and Dominion and all that. This one is like this, and honestly, I kind of thought that this model would have been smaller because I wanted to make it so that Big Al was younger than the other Allosaurs that were going to be in this enclosure, because Al was, of course, not fully grown when they died. So, you know, that's something I wanted to kind of show off. So anyway, I think that them having different models also works out pretty well. Fortunately, they don't really have any colors that give them red crests, so they look like this, unfortunately. And the Diplodocus, they both look great. You know, I think that maybe I gave them too dark of a tan color, so I'll probably fix that in the future, but as of right now, I think it's all right. So that is the Salt Flats scene from the Ballad of Big Al, and over here is, of course, the first episode. So those are our two first additions from the Walking with Dinosaurs documentary, something that I'm very excited to continue. The next episode will also be focused on that. We'll focus on 2 more episodes of Walking with Dinosaur until we finish with Dinosaurs. Jeez. Until we finish up with the whole show, because I know there's just so many, like, amazing things that happen in each episode. I didn't really want to just only choose one thing and then just leave it at that. You know, I wanted to kind of do something from each episode. So that's what we'll be focusing on. I'll try to limit my space as much as possible. I mean, okay, all things considered, we still have a lot of space, but these enclosures, I've really realized that, especially the Land Before Time one, I kind of just went a little bit overboard. So I've tried to reduce it with each one that I've done until we got into this size. So this size is probably where we're going to stick. the time being. I won't really change these guys' enclosures. What's done is done, but this enclosure will probably be the standard. These enclosure sizes will probably be the standard going on, just to try to save as much space as possible, because we want to get as many dinosaurs in this park as we can. That is the ultimate goal, and it's going to look really cool when it's all done. I'm excited to see it. So as I said, we will be doing Walking with Dinosaurs for the next few episodes, but also, keep requesting what you would like to see, because after Walking with Dinosaurs, we will of course move on and do other things, so that is very important. Any movie, documentary, or show, all of that is really not off the table, and I'll probably even do some video games too, if that's something you want to request. If there's like iconic moments from video games, dinosaur video games that you want to see, I wouldn't mind putting that in too. Anyway, that is pretty much all I have for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have an awesome day.